يوم يقوم الحساب. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وسلام على المرسلين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. It's about 2-3 nights that I'm going to touch one of the very important discussion with regard the status and the position of the Holy Quran. Brothers and sisters, keep in mind that we are living in a very challenging age. And in according to narrations from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the most difficult age for living is what? End of time. Why end of time is difficult? Because we are distant from the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and reception of revelation, and we are far and away from our infallible Imam, and at the same time we need to follow our religion, our faith. We need to be dedicated, submitted to religion and faith. And this one is difficult because of new questions, new critiques, new challenges, particularly in the internet. Every morning when you click, there is a new question, new challenge. Is Quran word of Allah or word of Prophet? What is the difference? Big. Does Quran have one single interpretation or many? What is the difference? Big. And this is called pluralism. Begin from interpretation of Holy Quran, then reaches to religious pluralism. And they will raise question. Who says that the only saved nation who arrive at the point of prosperity is Muslims? Who says this? What is your proof? The thing is to be a good human being. Follow good moral values. Whether you are Muslim, you're Christian, you're Jews, you're Hindu, you're Buddhist. Who says that only one way is the right avenue, the right path? We live at a new age. So, pluralism and pluralistic interpretation of Holy Quran is one of the shaking, damaging question nowadays. So you need to be careful to have your own explanation and your own response. How do you respond? Because of this, I'm just putting my time and your time on this topic, several sessions, to clarify all aspects and all dimensions. So I need, please, your attention, and I promise not to exceed your time. When you send me the signals of exhaustion and fatigueness from your eyes, I immediately stop. And my wife is here as a very harsh observer. Although I have my previous observer at the gent side, Hassanain is here, and he will send red or yellow cards. He shows me like this. But my wife is sitting in front of me, and whenever I try to explain or to go to details, from that corner she says, enough is enough, Abbas. Enough is. And when he says like this, it means that at night it will be some problem. So be careful and don't exceed. And I follow her. Sorry. An introduction to Quranology. Outlines 4. Quran and pluralism. The issue of hermeneutics. What is hermeneutics? Hermeneutics says that scriptures, Bible, Torah and Quran, could have several interpretations. Every person tries to understand his or her own. And at first night you said that Quran is not the book of expertise, is not the book of scholars, is the book of everyone, is the book for everyone. Every Muslim could get benefit. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَهَذَا بَيَانٌ لِلنَّاسِ. It's an explanation and declaration for nas. So if this is the declaration for nas, so every person have the right to come to the Quran and understand whatever she or he gets. This is called hermeneutic or various interpretation. And behind the curtain, keep in mind, behind the curtain of hermeneutic is the fact there is a, behind scene that they put cosmetics and, they make, they make your face to come to the scene. What is the behind curtain of hermeneutics? Behind the curtain is the fact that there is no one single interpretation. There is no right and wrong. Everything, all interpretations are right. No one could say this one is right, this one is wrong. Everyone is right, but to some extent, to the extent of your capacity, your knowledge, your understanding, your capability. So this is, you see, they begin from a very soft point. At the beginning, they say, is there any problem that we as Muslims go to Quran and understand Quran? We say, okay, it's good. Do we have right to have our own understanding? You say, yes. And then when you have your understanding is right or your understanding? No, don't go there. All understandings are okay. Let people enjoy their own understanding. This is the behind curtain of hermeneutics. And the most dangerous is here. Because if this is the case, there is no difference between mu'min and non-mu'min. Believer and non-believer. Because everything is true, is right, is correct. When everything is correct, there is no right and wrong. Recently, there is a new discussion, particularly among Muslims. There are some scholars who claim, who argue that even in Quran, there is a verse that says the verses of Quran are divided into two parts. Quran does not include everything in clear, crystal way. There are points which are ambiguous, which are dark. Even ulama, even fuqaha, even philosophers, even interpreters, they don't know. So what is the meaning of Alif Lam Mim? What? Is it singing? Is it music? Does it have any message? It's not a word. It's a combination of characters. So does it include any meaning? And Quran itself categorizes the verses into two types. Muhkamat and mutashabahat. Muhkamat means decisive, clear. certain, sound, established. Okay. No doubt. But there are verses which are not sound, which are not clear, which are not obvious. They are multifaceted. Different meaning. Which one is right? The verse called multifaceted. It means it has several meanings. No one could say this is right and that is right. All are right. Because all are different dimensions, aspects, and facets of the verse. So allegorical verses in the Holy Quran. The reality of different interpretation is not strange. The Quran itself classifies its verses into muhkam, meaning decisive verses, and mutashabih allegorical verses. A mutashabih verse can have various interpretations. So even Quran itself approves that there are two types of tafsir, or several types of tafsir for some verses, which are mutashabih. What do you say for this? Okay. This is called pluralistic interpretation of the Quran. Let's consult Quran chapter 3, verse number what? 7, as given below. I need your help. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Are you with me? Not out of this session. Following. هو الذي أنزل عليك الكتاب منه آيات محكمات هن أم الكتاب وأخر متشابهات فأما الذين في قلوبهم زيغ فيتبعون ما تشابه منه ابتغاء الفتنة وابتغاء تأويله وما يعلم تأويله إلا الله والراسخون في العلم يقولون آمنا به كل من عند ربنا كل من عند ربنا وما يذكر إلا أولو الألباب. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse reveals what? هو الذي أنزل عليك الكتاب, divided into two parts. Part number 1, آيات محكمات, and part number 2, mutashabahat. When people come to Quran, those people who are troublemaker only side with mutashabahat. Most of the time they don't go by muhkamat, they leave it. It's clear, there is no argument, there is no discussion. They come to mutashabahat. Why? Because here there could be a campaign, dialogue, critique, question, challenge. Why they are looking for challenge? Do they have additional time? Don't they have job? Why they come to mutashabaha? ابتغاء الفتنة وابتغاء تأويله. They want to create crisis. They want to shake people's faith, people religiosity. How could you shake and tremble people's faith, religiosity? You raise a question. Why in Islam the heredity of men is double compared to inheritance of when a man is double compared to women? Isn't it just? Why? So they come to that part to create crisis and create challenge. Look at the translation. He is the one who has revealed the book to, are you with me? I say some part, the first part, and you complete the second. Some of its verses are decisive. They are the basis of the book. Hunna Ummul Kitab. And others are allegorical. Then as for those in whose hearts there is obstinacy, okay, they follow the part of it which is why? Seeking to mislead and seeking to give it their own interpretation. But none knows its interpretation except Allah. And then those who are firmly rooted in knowledge. Say, and what is the sign of their rooted knowledge? Say, we believe in it. It is all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and none do mind except those having understanding. وَمَا يَذَّكَّرُ إِلَّا أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. It says that it's not easy job. It's not an easy job. It is in need of solid knowledge and solid faith. Solid knowledge and solid faith. If we have problem in terms of faith or knowledge, we will have problem in understanding Quran and in applying it. Solid knowledge and solid faith. Imam Ali al-Rida salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi says that this is a duty of all Shia. This is a duty of all Shia to have family session weekly, just with regard to understanding and complete their understanding in their faith. Do we have it? Family session. We have many, going back. But do we have family session with regard to religious complement, faith development? I hope. When I say family, it means not coming to Falah or to Khawja Jama'ah. Each family, they are careful about the meals, the eating, drinking, dressing, everything, health. They are careful about religiosity. Why? Because we live at the end of time. and end of time is difficult, is unique. One of the signs of end of time is what? In the age of end of time, there is no private and public. Previously, you could divide human life into two parts. This is my privacy, and this is the public. Do we have such a division nowadays? Your privacy. What do you mean by your privacy? You need a click. And then you enter the most private aspect of human life. It's uploaded. Can you believe? Some people, sometimes, they are in need of privacy. Leave me alone, I need to have my own privacy. Do they let you? They give you one of these. And even when you go to the most private corner of your, oh yeah, go, close the door. And you are busy with internet. And you go everywhere. Whatever you like. And one of my brothers told me that nowadays internet is like the heaven. I said, how is like the heaven? He said, فِيهَا مَا تَشْتَهِي الْأَنفُسُ وَتَلَدُّ الْأَعْيُنُ. Whatever you like. What would you like? Me, dream. So we live at such an age. We live at such an age. It's shaking the pillars of the faith. So we need to elevate. We need to complete. We need to develop the level of our understanding in belief system, in moral system, in legal system. It's not automatic. Don't say that I was a dedicated, submitted person, but my children, they are growing in a different way because we didn't invest. We invest for everything, for education, for health, for dressing, for housing, for accommodation, for whatever. But do we invest for faith? Do we feel responsibility? Suddenly, occasionally, it's good to go to Shameli's lecture. It's the month of Ramadan and Shameli is here and okay, this is the same. But normally, do we have investment? Do we feel gap? Of course not. And normally we come to problems because we do not invest. Religion is not something which comes to us by voluntarily, automatically. We need to invest. We need to educate ourselves, our children, our family. So, who follows allegorical verses? I told you. الذين في قلوبهم زيغ أو مرض. Those who have a problem in their heart will try to follow the allegorical verses. For what? In order to mislead people in terms of faith and Islamic teachings, or to give their own. They don't come to you and they say, we want to mislead you. They say, recently I came to a new understanding from this verse. Could I share with you? And they put on the internet, they upload it. Then after 1 hour, it goes everywhere. However, the very basis of the Quran is decisive verses. What is decisive? Crystal clear in meaning and the reference for the Quran. So one good way to get rid of misunderstanding or misconception of Quran is tafsir al-Quran bil-Quran, referring non-clear verses to crystal clear. لماذا؟ هن الكتاب. They are the mother of the book, the basis, the reference. So are we able to return the allegorical to decisive? This is not our job. This is the type of expertise. For your eye grading, do you come to me? For your teeth, do you come to me? For your heart, I'm alim, I have my PhD from a well-known university. Do you come to me? No. You do not come to me because I do not have the expertise that you are looking for. For all types of concerns, we need to refer to the proper expert. So, what is allegorical verses? To know what are allegorical verses and what is their role in the Quran, interpreters and Shia scholars have made a lot of efforts. The compiler of Nahjul Balagha, Sayyid Radi, has, for example, written a volume called Al-Mutashabahat al-Quran. So for those who are looking for the way to understand the Mutashabahat, one way is just Google it up. Mutashabahat al-Quran, English translation, or Arabic, or Farsi, different. He provides to you good explanation about the reality and the nature of Mutashabahat al-Quran. The second is Al-Mizan. Under the interpretation of this verse that I told you, Hunna Ummul Kitab wa Ukhra Mutashabahat, Allama Tabatabai, under the interpretation of this verse, provides a very good, complete explanation about the nature and reality of Mutashabahat al-Quran and the way of treating them. So we need to refer and complete our knowledge, our understanding. We may also refer to recent writings and interpretation about these verses in the reference, in other reference, including Al-Mizan fi Tafsir al-Quran. Discovery of the meaning of the allegorical. It's a fact that Quran is divided into two parts, Muhkamat and Mutashabahat. What do we do for Mutashabahat as a Muslim? According to the above mentioned verse, it is a fact that Quran includes allegorical verses and decisive. Yet the Quran itself provides the standard and the true way to understand the real meaning of these verses. What is the standard and the way? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the infallible Imams are the true interpreters of the whole Quran, since they enjoy the divine knowledge. So one good way to understand Mutashabih al-Quran is what? Refer to Riwayat Athari, At-Tafsir al-Athari. They call it At-Tafsir al-Athari, interpretation based on narrations. There are many types of interpretation based on narration, like Nur al-Thaqalain, like Majma' al-Bayan. They have concern to clarify the all verses of Quran based on based on narration from Prophet Muhammad and the infallible Imams. So this is one good way. And they paved the way because they had a lot of effort to clarify and to explain. Second way, I told you, decisive verses are the reference because they are the reference and the mother of the Quran. For the very beginning of, from the very beginning of the Islamic history, there were people who have used the allegorical verses in the Quran to mislead others or to provide their own self-centered interpretation. It calls a tafsir bil-ra'i, self-centered interpretation called a tafsir. From the very beginning of the Islamic history, there were people. Beside Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they were doing. And when they came to him and they provided their own interpretation, Prophet said, stop talking about this. This is not the reality of Quran. This is a tafsir bil-ra'i. And unfortunately, we have this problem from the beginning of Islam. The deviation between these different schools and different sects and different imams and different scholars in front of school of Ahlul Bayt. Unfortunately, this is a fact in the history of Islam. We could do nothing. From the very beginning. It was Imam Ali, and in front of Imam Ali there was other people who were companions. And some of them were aged, and Imam Ali was young. So they said, you are a good boy, but good boy. Young. We refer to those who are aged and, learned. So age brings learning. Imam Ali warns us about this danger in various sermons in Nahjul Balagha. For example, in sermon number 87, he says, وَآخَرُ قَدْ تُسَمَّى عَالِمًا وَلَيْسَ بِهِ فَاقْتَبَسَ جَهَائِلَ مِنْ جُهَّالٍ وَأَذَالِيلٍ مِنْ ضُلَّالٍ وَنَسَبَ لِلنَّاسِ أَشْرَاكًا مِنْ حَبَائِلَ غرور وقول زور قد حمل الكتاب على آرائه وعطف الحق على أهوائه يؤمن الناس من العذائب ويهون كبير الجرائم يقول أقف عند الشبهات وفيها وقع ويقول أعتزل البدع وبينها اضطجع فالصورة صورة إنسان والقلب قلب حيوان لا يعرف باب الهدى فيتبعه ولا باب العمى فيصد عنه وذلك ميت الأحياء. In a very explicit way, Imam Ali warns us, it's not an easy job. If we like to understand Quran, we need to refer to solid, reliable, authentic source and reference. Because there are, particularly nowadays, when you go and Google up, you will have several Ayatollah al-Uzma. And when you ask, this Ayatollah al-Uzma, when did he become Ayatollah al-Uzma? When did he study? Under whom? How many years? In which hawza? Suddenly someone comes and they provide tafsir al-Quran, Quranic studies. One good avenue in hawza is that they don't give credit for cheap. Look at the letters that ulama write one to another. Normally, when you see me, you say, Sheikh Shameli has come to us from the beginning of Ramadan. So I have my PhD. For my PhD, I have no doubt. You could Google up my name. 1999, I have graduated from McGill University by the highest level of graduation, Dean's Honor List. Alhamdulillah, you just Google it up, my name. McGill University, 1999. My name is there. So my PhD has no doubt about it. But who am I in terms of Hawza? Hujjatul Islam. Hujjatul Islam wal Muslimin. Ayatullah. Ayatullah. Who am I? In an easy way, someone comes to internet and claims that the house of Ayatullah al-Uzma, 3 points. This is not joke. This is playing game with people's faith. Ayatullah al-Uzma means the one who is well famous, well established in one of the Hawza, Qom or Najaf. Qom or Najaf. He studied for several years in a particular institute under particular asatidha and has signs of being qualified. He is recognized as Islamologist, as Alimuddin. It doesn't come by sudden, by chance. They are not just cheap titles. Unfortunately, nowadays, you see, it's enough to wiggle it up. Who is Ayatollah al-Uzma? How many Ayatollah al-Uzma do we have? And they are famous. In Najaf, they are famous. In Qom, they are famous. Yes, I need years to be qualified. I have to educate students. Who is going to be the full professor in the university? I'm asking you. Who is the full professor in the university? The one who is well qualified, well established in one particular of disciplines of knowledge. He got or she got his or her PhD, then research, then teaching, then many students, master, bachelor, PhD, and then there are signs of qualification. Articles, ISIs, books, courses. Do you call someone as full professor by chance? Are you allowed? I was at McGill University, 1995. I just started my PhD comprehensive exam. And I just met a friend of mine in the library, McLennan Library at McGill University. And I said, Assalamu alaikum, how are you, Dr. Lablab? Doctor, 3 points. And he told me, Mr. Shameli, please, I'm not doctor yet. I haven't finished. I am PhD student. Don't say doctor. It's an academic crime. What? Academic crime to call someone who is a normal PhD student as doctor. But Irfan last time told me that, Mr. Shameli, do you know the meaning of PhD? I said the PhD is the one who passed all courses and defended, and then he's there. And then he told me PhD means past difficult.
Passed with high difficulty.
Passed with high difficulties. You know, you have to pass high difficulties to become PhD. It's not joke. Don't gift Ayatollah al-Uzma, full professor. He's a young talib. 7 years of study in Hausa, becomes Ayatollah. What is your teachings in Dars Kharij? Give me your explanation. So we need to be careful. If we give these titles cheap, then we will have several scholars, ulama ud-din, and they provide us interpretation. And you say Ayatollah Sistani or Ayatollah Khamenei or other scholar, philosopher told this. They say yes, Mr. Shameli also told this. Is it comparable? This is joke. This is playing game with people's face. We need to be careful. And Amir al-Mu'minin Salamullah ta'ala alayh, وَآخَرُ قَدْ تُسَمَّى عَالِمًا وَلَيْسَ بِهِ. Why? فَاقْتَبَسَ جَهَائِلَ مِنْ جُهَّةٍ. He has taken, this is why the other kind of man is he who calls himself learned, but is not so. He has gleaned ignorance from an ignorant and misguidance from the misguided. He has set for the people a trap made of the ropes of trickery and untrue speech. He takes the Quran according to his own views and right after his wishes. He makes people feel safe from big sins, and he takes light to the serious crimes. He says that he is waiting for clarification, doubts, but he remains plunged therein, and that he keeps distant from innovation, but actually he is immersed in them. His shape is that of, tell me, that of, but his heart is that of a beast. He does not know the door of to follow, nor the door of to keep therefrom. These are living dead bodies. So we have the threat of these people for our face. We need to be careful. Messages from this Alawi sermon. I just give you this message and finish tonight. Some messages from this Alawi sermon. Number one, there are people who are not knowledgeable but pretend to be dead. Number two, they compile misleading ideas from others who are themselves misled. They do self-centered interpretations and interpret the truth as they wish to be compatible with their dreams. And four, they are animals in reality and human in face only. This crisis started from the time of Imam Ali. Today, the issue of different interpretation is the way to why they talk about different multiple interpretation to oppose Islam. There are people who refuse the understanding and interpretation of the ulama only because they claim there are other interpretation. When you say Allama Tabatabai or that scholar who is well established, well qualified says this, they say, okay, this is his interpretation. Draw a new, modern, pluralistic interpretation away from denial. I stop here.